Welcome back to the Club Call-In Show, brought to you by Sky Bet, joined today by Flav to take on some very, very juicy questions from the audience. If you want to get involved, click the link down below in the description and join our Discord. We're starting off with Safe. How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going, Buvey?
Oh, very, very good, man. How's your weekend?
It was incredible. Went rafting.
Wow, lovely. In America, I'm assuming.
Canada,
beautiful.
We're all the same.
Same thing, yeah.
What's your question, mate?
Wanted to debate Kane versus Drogba with you guys. I know, Buvey, you're obviously very passionate about, Kane, Aguero versus Drogba. My apologies. Aguero, Drogba, Buvey. I know you're quite passionate about dying on this Aguero hill. I've got nothing but respect for Aguero, but I think the answer is Drogba. And I'll tell you why. If you're giving me a list for greatest Premier League strikers, and it's purely the Premier League, I have no qualms with Aguero being above Drogba. He's won more Premier League titles. He's got the greatest moment in Premier League history. He's been more instrumental to those Premier League titles than Drogba has been for our league titles. I don't mind that. But when you go beyond the Premier League, when you look at the domestic cups, when you look at the Champions League, which Aguero hasn't quite won and hasn't quite delivered in the manner that Drogba's delivered in, the scales and the odds tip towards Drogba. Football is romantic. Football is beautiful. And the striker, the player who delivers when you're most needed, when the chips are down, when you need someone to rise to the occasion like a superhero almost, the answer is Didier Drogba. And I think you know that you're taking Didier Drogba.
I'm maybe taking Drogba for a big moment, but if we're talking about prime Aguero versus prime Drogba for Team X in the Premier League, it's always going to be Aguero for me. He's a better finisher. He carries the ball better goal-to-game ratio. Drogba was unbelievable in little moments, for sure. And, of course, in Premier League campaigns. But Aguero is a better goal scorer. They're both strikers. Who's the actual better finisher of a football into the back of the net, the simple things in football? And Aguero is a better finisher, hands down.
Safe, can I just...
Aguero was better.
Can I just... Sorry. Hello, mate. How you doing? It's Flav here. I'm a Spurs fan. I'm not sure if you know who I am, but I think
he's on the overlap.
I'm aware.
I'm on the overlap. You seen that? You seen that? Yeah, it's a big deal. Anyway, so it's interesting because it was a bit of a Freudian slip at the start there, where you said Drogba versus Kane, because that is the actual conversation here, isn't it? It's not about who was better between Drogba and Aguero, and it's how isn't it Harry Kane in this conversation. Now, what Drogba and Aguero had was an incredible units behind them and goal scoring abilities, but in a system that benefited them in every way. Whereas Kane, really, for a lot of his time at Tottenham, was scoring goals and carrying a team that was beneath his standard. So while Buvey's giving me a side eye there that you won't be able to see, but while this is a decent conversation between Drogba and Aguero, the best number 9 the Premier League has ever seen is Harry Kane. It's not, and the only reason that people go, how many trophies has he won? How many league titles has he won? It's irrelevant. That's a team achievement. He's the greatest goal scorer Premier League's ever seen.
This is how much I back my chat with Aguero. If Aguero played for that Pochettino side, you actually do win the Premier League title. 100%.
Yeah.
And Aguero scored goals in cup finals. Drogba scored far more goals than Aguero in cup finals. I mean, Harry Kane has been in actually quite a few cup finals for Spurs. You think about England. And I've never seen a bigger player go missing. Actually, ironically, we're talking about Drogba as the biggest big game player maybe in the history of modern football. Seriously. Kane's the opposite. Kane's diametrically opposed to Didier Drogba in finals.
No one with a serious head on doesn't pick Kane.
Can you justify to me then, why was he missing against Spain 2024?
Why was he?
He went missing against Spain.
Overall performance. You're talking about 90 minutes of football, though, isn't it?
Okay. What about let's expand
the longevity of his Premier League career.
Let's do 1,000 minutes of football because the League Cup final with Mason manager.
Yeah, but again, we just sacked our manager. These are things that you're basically making tiny isolated points to judge his entire career.
Okay, what about a final?
What would Kane do in City's team? Kane would have been unplayable in City's team.
I don't know if he scores the Aguero goal. I don't know if he scores a League Cup final goal against Arsenal.
Your own
Guardiola's first ever trophy.
Your own manager was desperate for him. Guardiola knows a bit more about
different
it.
Eras. Different eras. Aguero wasn't even at the club when Kane was linked to Manchester City. Let's be real. Titles speak massive amounts in football, and for me, Aguero is a better striker than both.
I don't say if I don't obviously if it isn't Harry Kane, and that's the only dog in the fight I have here. I guess I'm a slight bias against Chelsea because I'm a Spurs fan, but I think it's really difficult to separate Drogba and Aguero. I would lean towards Drogba if I had to choose one, but only it's a conversation. I would lean towards Drogba. I think he was unplayable, an incredible talent, and he, in terms of physicality, just does more than Aguero.
I get that as well. And he completely changed Premier League football, being a solo striker and bringing midfielders into play. 100%. It's a great shout. Safe, thanks very much for your call, mate. Make sure you call back as well. Yep, moving on to Nick now. Big Arsenal fan. How you doing, Nick?
Oh, God. What does Nick want?
Hello.
Hi, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm very well. How are you?
Oh, mate, absolutely superb. Sat next to a Spurs fan after the weekend.
Oh, that's rough, is it?
It's real rough.
Flav?
It's Flav, yeah, from the overlap.
Oh,
nice. What do you want?
I'll see you too, mate. So my question is, who is a player that you think will this season, by the end of the season, be a nailed-on first-choice starter for their team that wasn't necessarily last season? Ooh. Whether that's like a new sign-in or someone who was on the fringes last year.
Anyone at Tottenham?
It's a great question.
It's a very good question.
I think he's kind of been thrusted into the limelight somewhat this season because Frank can't stop talking about him. But I think Papsar's reputation will be significantly improved.
Did he not start last season?
He started.
I thought you were going to say Archie Gray in midfield. Because he started in midfield last week, didn't he, against Burnley?
Yeah, I don't think with Palin is going to get 80% of the minutes, I think.
Right, so there's no sort of movement for Gray coming into the side more in midfield, which he'd prefer?
I think in terms of who people will be talking about, so I appreciate that Papsar was a part of, he started the Europa League final, for example, but I just think his reputation is going to go through the roof, especially if he has to play in the 10. His abilities across that midfield are significant, and what people think he might be is a bit of a destroyer and breaks up play, but he's technically superb as well. Yep. So I think Papsar's reputation, I think Archie Gray's a good shout as well, but yeah, Papsar for me.
Nick, is there anyone that springs to mind for you?
So, I mean, I thought of this question a couple of days ago, and the name, I was speaking to one of my friends about it, and the name that came to me was, circumstances have changed since then because of what happened in the game yesterday, but I was going to say Jacob Ramsey at Newcastle. I feel like he will just find a way into that midfield, like potentially over like Joel Linton by the end of the year. I just think he offers more going forward and is just a better player for that system. I know Newcastle fans absolutely love Joel Linton, but I just think
it's a great show.
I just think Jacob Ramsey's a top.
I wondered if Joe Linton could have gone up top against Liverpool, put Gordon on the left to challenge their right back situation, drop Harvey Barnes, who I like as a footballer, but I think in that game he could have played Joe Linton, who was originally a striker when he came into the Premier League.
Terrible one, but he was a number 9.
He could have been physical against the centre backs and flick things on for against Liverpool. But that's a great shout, 100%. What about from Arsenal? Look, Max Dowman, could he be someone that starts 20 games by May next year, June next year? Do you think Max Dowman, Ethan Manieri could be someone that sort of is more of a first choice starter?
I think both are. I mean, Max Dowman. He's obviously, we've all seen it. He is a phenomenally skilled player. I am trying to kind of temper my expectations a little bit, and I'm sure he's going to get plenty of game time. But who knows, man? If he keeps doing what he's doing, like he's won, is it 3 penalties in 3 games or something, just from drawing fouls, because he's so unpredictable, and they're almost a little bit tentated to go at him, and then when they do, they overcommit and he draws the foul. The player that I would say was a bit on the fringes last season, mainly due to injury, but I think Ricardo Calafiori could be our first choice left back by the end of the year. And I absolutely love Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think he'll play a bit in midfield this year as well. But I think Calafiori offers us so much going forward. It's going to be interesting with Eze on the left because they both kind of like to drift inside once they get into that attacking third. But I just think Calafiori offers he's so dynamic and just offers a lot going forward. And they could also play centre-back. So I think come the end of the season, we're going to see. I
think Arsenal got a lot of options. You have to say Ethan Manieri as well, because obviously he came on against Leeds United, and you feel actually he should have started a lot of football matches at the back end of last season. He wasn't quite trusted for some weird reason, even though he scored quite a few goals. Big goal against City, big goal against Girona in the Champions League. You think actually could Ethan Manieri challenge Odegaard, challenge Eze in that midfield? Suddenly Arsenal have got 3 really creative number 10s that can all play in that kind of number 10 position. It's really exciting. And then Max Dowman. It's very, very exciting.
I think listen, the last few years has been the best time I can remember as being an Arsenal fan. I'm 25, so
coming second. It's not bad.
It's kind of
coming. Do you know what?
Come on, Booth. We were 8th a few years ago, and
I'm sure you came second. So it's fantastic.
As even as a Spurs fan, that is refreshing to hear, mate. Because what you get online generally, the perception is that that Arsenal fans are not happy with Arteta, that he hasn't been able to get over the line 5-6 seasons now. But actually, reality is that you can see constant progress at a football club. As frustrating as that is for me to say, there is a constant progression, a constant willingness to adapt. The way Arsenal played 3 years ago isn't how they played now. They tried a different thing last season and the season before it didn't really work. But Arteta is constantly adapting. And you are out of your mind. Any Arsenal fan who wants Arteta removed from the football club, you are crazy.
Absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you, Flav. I think it's crazy. Like the progression is he the man to get us over the line? There's a debate to have around that. I think he could
Nick,
given the right circumstances. But
Nick, no one is entitled to win the league. To do a job, you have to be in the conversation for a Premier League title come April, May. If a team is in that position, then the manager has done everything expected of him. Like Pep Guardiola has done his job if Man City are in a title conversation come April. Same with Arsenal. There is no God-given right to win the league. It's so difficult. There's so many variables outside of your own control. And so if Arsenal finish in second 3 times and they're in the conversation again this year, it almost doesn't matter if they don't win it. You've got to continue with him. And I can't wait for the day that Arteta leaves because I think he's a sensational manager.
Well, I mean, to be fair, as a Spurs fan, I mean, I imagine you're quite excited about Frank. He's looking really settled so far.
Yeah, I think he's good. He's given the tools he has at his disposal and the advantages that other football clubs have by having a chairman who's aggressive and goes out and tries to buy players rather than ours that dilly-dallies and lets players like Eze through his fingers. I think, he's done. He started well. It's
outstanding. It's a really, really great call, Nick. Make sure you call back when you get smashed by Liverpool next week, of course.
Nice one. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Next up, we've got Momin, big Arsenal fan as well. A question regarding Ben White. Momin, how are you?
Good, man. How are you, Buvey?
Very, very
How's
good.
Everybody?
Absolutely superb after the weekend, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, likewise as well. 5-0. 5-0 is always a good result to have. But the Discord said that we had guests on. Who all am I speaking to?
It's Flav.
The star of the overlap.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What's your question, man? Let's get this over and done with.
My take is I think Ben White is going to be a nailed-on starter for England at the World Cup. It's a World Cup year upcoming, and I thought it would be a good idea to talk about it. But before I get into my argument, inevitably probably with Flav, what is your guys' starting back 2 or back 3 for the World Cup?
That's a great question. Well, Pickford in goal for me. Then you got Gahey has to start. Stones has to be, obviously, if he's fit. I'm sure he'll be fit. He usually is for England, weirdly enough. If it's a back 5, which I think England have to do, then it would be someone like Ben White as a right-sided centre-back.
I think if Ben White is available to a selection, then he definitely plays for England.
No, he wants to play for Tuchel. I've seen that, yeah. He wants to be back.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then Reece James on the right wing back.
Right wing back. Yeah, I think you probably Reece James starts ahead of Ben White, or maybe there's a conversation depending on who you're playing. Like if you want a bit more of a solid back line, if it is a 4, then Ben White as a right back against attacking teams.
Yeah. I'd play a 5. I'd have 5. I'd have Ben White and Reece James.
But isn't there a question here? Should Ben White even be invited back into the fold? Like he said, I don't want to play for. I don't think he should.
Oh God.
What?
Honestly, I don't think life is that deep. I think he's a good footballer. I think he can perform for us at the World Cup. And I think that's why it warrants his selection. And like part of the question that I was going to talk about was, I think he's actually one of the most underrated players in the league. He gets overhated by so many other fan bases for absolutely no reason, in my opinion. Even though I think he's definitely the most balanced, fit right back.
Yeah,
and when he slotted in against Liverpool,
hang on a second.
You're very respected.
You've just also brushed my point off like it didn't even matter, right? This is a guy who said, "I am not playing for my country." And that is important. That is important for international football. Like for me, is I want to see players out there that want to represent England in a competition. And he said, I'm not doing that for whatever reason. He said,
well, beggars can't be choosers. We can't be precious about who plays for England. We have to win a trophy.
And I can be however I want to be.
Yeah,
but that's how I feel.
If you're an England fan and you're desperate to see actual winning something, right? You've been watching England for 30 plus years, 40 years. England have never won anything in 40. It's the most chronically unsuccessful side in the history of international
Ben White
football.
Changes all that, does he?
He takes us even 1% closer to winning a World Cup than he has to be brought back into the fold.
Do you think he's that impressive, Owen?
I think the reason, let me tell you why. So the first kind of strand of the argument, and by the way, it's going to be 60 years of hurt now, by the way, in 2026. which is shambolic, and I think he does bring us closer. Number one, because of the other options. So I'm just going to quickly rattle off the other options real quick. So it could be Colwill, and I think it's the biggest myth in football that he should get into an England side. I think he's an average player. Then you've got Trevor Chalobah, not a bad footballer, but I think Ben Whitehead takes it over him in terms of on the ball, experience in big games.
Yeah, agreed.
Ezri Konsa, Branthwaite's the one where you think, can he give us a bit different? Can he give us something in set pieces? Because we're kind of that team, aren't we? But I still think that Ben White just has that composure on the ball. And another thing as well that I think he has over any of these other centre-backs, he's just so much more game aware than them. And I think a big part of all these bit part centre-backs is they're really good in one-on-ones, really good in the air. But when you're in a semi-final against France, you've got Mbappe running at you, you've got Barcola running at you. I'm not saying he's going to be able to lock him up, but I'm saying he's positionally sound enough to be able to give a bit in attack and defence as well.
Yeah, I think he's superb.
Ever since Ben White's come back from his injury, obviously, I think you guys know he was playing with an injury for like a year and a half, actually. And then he finally got the hamstring surgery for that, and now he's back. And I think there's another level to his game that he's going to reach if we give him a good run of games.
Of all the things you can talk about at Arsenal, I'm surprised Ben White's at the forefront of your... Like everything that's going on at your football club and all.
Why don't you talk about Eze?
Yeah, Eze. or Gokeres coming in,
Max
scoring
Dowman.
two.
I've got quite an unpopular opinion about Eze, and I think there's a lot of feel good around the club right now.
He's rubbish, isn't he?
We can't move topics. No, you're not allowed to talk about Eze. No, we can't move topics. You've had one.
You
topic.
had one chance.
We've got 1,000 people in the waiting list to talk to us. 1,000. This is Glastonbury tickets to chat to us on the club, yeah. And you've talked about a second choice right back for Arsenal. You got a go away moment, seriously, man, and have a real hard think about what interests you in football. Second choice right back for Arsenal.
There could be a world where
he's chronically underrated.
I agree. By the way,
be a bit different as
I'll tell your manager to start him.
I appreciate that.
You were trying to be, but and there may be a world moment where we never speak again, and we spent the last 5 minutes talking about Ben White. We probably will never cross paths ever again. Moment. And this is what we spoke about.
Make sure you call back when you get smashed by Liverpool next week. Yeah.
It's going to be at least 3-0.
Oh, yes, Liverpool.
And yeah, by the way, lads, absolutely do, on a serious one, do absolutely love the podcast. Seriously.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing watch for years.
Vic, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Oh, very, very good, man. What's your question today on the club calling show?
So my question was, if Reece James is 100% fit, he could be like one of the best fullbacks in the world, in the Premier League and also the world.
Yeah,
and also he might be a regular starter for England.
Yeah, I think we talked about this with the previous caller. Do you put him in the same category as Hakimi? And I'd say he's the best right back in the world right now on form, just won the Champions League. Where do you rank James alongside the likes of Hakimi, Trent Alexander-Arnold at Real Madrid, of course, Frimpong at Liverpool? Where do you rank him in that regard?
Reece James has performed consistently in spite of his limited game time, because as you can see in the stats right here, last season he's played more games, 19 games, which is a drastic improvement from the season before where he's only played 10 games. Maresca has drastically improved his fitness. So if you talk about fully fit Reece James, I would just about rank him in the top 3.
I don't hate that at all. I think the question about Reece James was never whether or not he was good enough. It was just whether or not he can stay fit. Would his body betray him? And I think now that you see him regular minutes under Maresca and Chelsea continue to improve, he's in the right environment to really kind of see his career improve constantly and exponentially. And I think a fully fit Reece James is definitely England's right back. He's arguably the best right back in the league. You know, it's certainly in the conversation. And depends on what Chelsea do, really. What Hakimi's done at PSG is win. He's won the Champions League, right? And as much as I kind of hate this conversation about team goals dictating how well a player is received, as a player who's watched Harry Kane win nothing and get very little credit, which is why I always talk about it. I think if you have to compare Hakimi and Reece James right now, it's Hakimi because of what he's done and how fit he is and how regularly he delivers. But I think over a year, or with Reece James, if he's fit, I think that's a fair shout, Vic.
So you can see Hakimi, like how he has performed consistently. You know, he's played every game under Luis Enrique. Like, you can see his level of fitness in contrast to what Reece James was before.
There was a moment where you saw Reece James's quality, Buvey, last year, where he swiveled on the edge of the box. I can't remember who it was against, so you have to remind me. But Chelsea won the game, and he crossed his ball in for Cucurella to header.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of ability he possesses. And you'd say like, what does Hakimi have that Reece James does it? And you say perhaps he's got more end product in the end, but
more pace,
bit more pace. But in terms of delivering at that area of the pitch, Hakimi's done that consistently. But I don't think. I think it's just about the amount of opportunity he's had. Yeah, so
very close. Yeah,
I would take Hakimi obviously, but Reece James is a conversation.
I think in terms of England as well. I mean, there's a few right backs. Obviously, Kyle Walker's out of the discussion these days. But you think Livramento, you think Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think Reece James fit is better than both of those by a country mile. Yeah. I think he has to be starting right back or right wing back for England 1,000,000%.
But he's got to stay fit, Vic. He's got to stay fit. Otherwise, it's not even worth talking about.
Vic, just final question. Chelsea smash West Ham. Look very, very good. Look, it's a poor West Ham side. Where do you think Chelsea will finish this season?
You ask me, Chelsea is not ready yet to win the title, but if you ask me, they will challenge. I suppose we'll finish second in the table.
Second? Wow, that's ambitious. You spent £2 billion, so you'd expect somewhere a little bit higher than last season, potentially. Vic, thanks very much for your call. I really appreciate it. Make sure you call back next week. We've got a final caller, I believe. David, another Arsenal fan. They beat Leeds United 5-0, and suddenly they come out the woodwork.
Is this a wind-up? I'm sitting
here.
Because
they beat Leeds 5-0.
Yeah, and I'm here as a Spurs fan, just as a guest for a week, right? And I've having to talk to.
Well, I've not seen you in months, and you beat City 2-0. And suddenly you're in the show.
Three Arsenal fans and 2 Chelsea fans. It's a joke.
Wow. We need some diversity. Where are the Blackburn Rovers fans?
QPR,
Bristol City fans. Come on, David. How are you?
All right, guys. How are you guys doing?
Oh, very, very good, man. How are you feeling after the 5-0 win against Leeds United?
I'm feeling good actually, and it's lifted my spirits compared to what happened the week before. I'm hoping that we can do better things.
100%.
The what I wanted to talk about today was Arsenal and Chelsea, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion and your perspective, because I've been hearing a lot over the last 2-3 weeks, Chelsea fans, pundits, and even finalists, like to call you guys these days, talking about how they put Chelsea above Arsenal in terms of the finishing order. And I don't understand, not that I don't think Chelsea can't finish before Arsenal. They've got a good team as possible. But the confidence and the chest that I hear when people talk about it, I don't understand where they're getting it from. And the reason why I say that is because I was saying Arsenal has kept largely the same squad over the last 3 years. And that squad has recorded 85 points and 89 points.
Let me offer a solution. Maybe it was pre-Eze, and maybe it was the idea that Arsenal were a little bit slow in the transfer market, still relying on the likes of Odegaard, Saka, maybe a little bit defensive against Manchester United. But a week's happened since the Manchester United 1-0, where it was a little bit cagey. You smashed Leeds United 5-0. You signed Eze. He's walking onto the pitch. Gyökeres has got a brace. So maybe a lot of these predictions of Chelsea surpassing Arsenal are actually a little bit outdated already because of the transfer activity, the performance against Leeds United, Max Dowman coming on. There's actually a lot more positivity in the last 7 days.
Well, they've also lost, let's not forget, they've lost Saka and Odegaard to injury potentially, and Havertz for a good 4 or 5 months potentially. So there is a conversation that not everything is rosy at Arsenal, and it is. Let's they beat Leeds 5-0, right? And they
even without the transfers, like that's what I was saying. The same squad we had recorded 85 and 89 points. Why are people so confident that Chelsea will record?
Yeah, I can understand.
That's what they're going to need to do.
David,
what have they seen from Chelsea?
Well, I can understand your frustration, obviously, because Arsenal are slowly building and should legitimately be considered the title challengers this season. And Chelsea haven't done much domestically to be in that same conversation. But you can't deny the fact that things like winning the Club World Cup, which is where it swayed a lot of people's views, not necessarily because the competition has much gravitas, but because they beat the PSG in the final in the way they did. That has changed perception to some degree, and I think that's where the confidence is coming from. I haven't seen many people, apart from Chelsea fans, really pick Chelsea to win the league. I thought they were a dark horse for the league, and they could do it. But if I had to bet my house on one team winning it, unfortunately, it would be Arsenal. But Chelsea have really kicked on. I think they look like a different side to the one that Todd Bowley took over. In terms of owning the football club, they're aggressive in the transfer market. They're bringing in quality players and also selling players on for massive amounts, which really puts them into a really healthy position in PSR sense. So if they don't do it this year, they certainly will be a force next year. But like you say, I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, you'd say Arsenal right now.
Definitely Arsenal. My only comment would be, it's a bit like Newcastle United in the 90s with Kevin Keegan. They came second or third a couple of seasons, and then they fell off. They lost all their best players. So I wonder if a lot of Arsenal fans would be questioning coming second 3 years in a row. I mean, it's never been done before. Coming second, you'd rather come fourth or fifth and build up momentum and shock sides. No, but I'm not even joking. Like Chelsea have done it a few times. They came 10th, didn't they? The season before Conte came in.
Yeah.
One game a season, they've gone on to win the Premier League title. Yeah. You'd rather be Arsenal coming second and having an unbelievable side. I'm not saying that, but I wonder if there's a question around Arsenal. Could they have been stagnant coming second 3 times in a row, maybe losing a big player next summer, and that's why Chelsea could surpass them. But at the moment, there's no way Arsenal finish below Chelsea. No way.
What you've got a setup there where they believe in the manager, they back him consistently. You've got a unified management structure, and it's working.
David, thanks very much for your call, mate.
Cheers, mate.
When you call back, make sure you talk to us about when you get smashed by Liverpool next week, yeah?
Oh, I swear I'm going to call back and I want to hear you apologize.
That is outstanding.
Right,
cheers, mate. Thanks very much. If you want to get involved, make sure you check out our Discord link down below. We've got some voice notes to wrap up right now. Right, next up, we've got Kimbo Plays with a voice note.
Hi, guys. Kim, Arsenal supporter from New Zealand. Just wanted to get your thoughts on are the expectations on like Sesko and Gyökeres high due to the lack of top quality strikers around the world at the moment?
It's a great
question. It seems a bit unfair that we put so much pressure on them.
Was it unfair, is it?
Their prices are relative to how much the market is, how it is at the moment.
Come on.
Cheers.
It feels it could be deemed as unfair because they're both young strikers. There's a lot. I mean, Gyökeres for me, he can fail a little bit easier because Saka can pick up goals. Arsenal could still win the league without Gyökeres banging in a load of goals this season. They're that good defensively. But with Sesko, it feels like it has to work. A lot of pressure. He's carrying the weight of Manchester United on his shoulders.
You're right. It has to work for Sesko, whereas Gyökeres can be his failings, if there are any. He may go on to be one of the best. He can be kind of supported by the rest of Arsenal, whereas Sesko's not even playing, not even starting yet.
He has to start the next game against Grimsby.
Is that who they've got?
League Cup.
God, Man United playing League Cup round 2. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Who'd have thunk it? How far they've fallen. He's... Look, is it unfair? Come on, man. He's a Premier League striker. It's not about fairness. It's about he's got to come in and deliver. If you're good enough, then you will put up the numbers. And, at this stage, he hasn't done it in a elite league. He's done it in a Portuguese league. So fairness hasn't come into it. There is a dearth of talent when it comes to number 9s, really.
These two are nowhere near. If this is Premier League 2006, these guys aren't even better than Yakubu.
Other thing,
I mean, they're not.
Well, the other question
Benny McCarthy
is you felt Benny McCarthy. I think that he might be on a par with Benny McCarthy.
I'm not sure. He won the Champions League, Benny McCarthy.
I know he did, but that doesn't make him a great. So did Traore for Liverpool. He was rubbish. So I think I don't.
Are they better? Honest now, are they better than Robbie Keane? Prime Robbie Keane at Spurs before he went to Liverpool. A big move. Is Gyökeres better than Robbie Keane? He's not, is he?
Is Sesko better than Peter Crouch?
No, not right now.
Probably not. There's no evidence, is there? Actually, so I'm saying in terms of
Pavlyuchenko.
I think I'm probably better than Pavlyuchenko. Yeah, I mean, as much as I have fondness for him, I'd say if you give me Pavlyuchenko or Gyökeres, I might choose Gyökeres. But what's interesting for me is that Arsenal fans on this show and elsewhere have kind of been defending Gyökeres and stuff. When it felt like they had an opportunity to get Isak, they were talking to Isak for the last 2 transfer windows, and it hasn't happened. And now they've definitely got a downgrade from Isak. And I think United really, there would be a world in the past where they would have got Isak as well.
Chelsea could have done it.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of most underrated number 9s in the league, João Pedro, I think he's going to have a sensational season and will outscore probably both of those.
But Delap's come in, cheap price, English number 9 for a 2-time Champions League winner, but he's got João Pedro alongside him. He's got Cole Palmer. There's no pressure on Delap, is there really?
Yeah.
He'll do well, I'm sure, but there's no pressure. Sesko has to work. It's scary.
Yeah, look, also, like, I think Kimbo, essentially, he wants some of the pressure off these, and you don't get it. You don't come to the Premier League on 200 grand a week, and you know, people go, don't worry, because it's not fair, the amount of pressure. You're in a pressure cooker. That's what it is. Strand Larson came to Wolves, and he pulled up trees, didn't he?
He's been ripping it up, mate.
£50 million for Strand Larson. I can't get my head around that.
Big lump.
Yeah, there's a big lump up top, and that's what £50 million
Is he better than
gets
Grant
you now.
Holt? Is he better than Grant Holt?
What, Strand Larson?
Yeah. He's not, is he? He's not.
I don't know.
He's not. That says
Grant
everything
Holt-
about modern football.
Grant Holt was all right.
Yeah, he was
to be
solid.
fair.
He's top quality.
Yeah, what, you'd rather Grant Holt at City than Strand Larson?
Yeah.
I just can't believe Wolves turned down 50 billion. I just can't get my head around
It's
it.
outrageous. Right, that has been a superb call-in show. Make sure you get involved. Click the link down below. Make sure you check out Flav on all his socials.
Can I just say, listen to Football Between the Lines podcast.
Yep.
If you're going to listen to anything that's not Spurs related, then listen to Football Between the Lines podcast.
Outstanding.
Cheers.
And make sure you subscribe to us. We'll see you very, very soon.